Hi everyone, welcome to Macm 201. I'll be one of your instructors this semester. My name is Jamie Mulholland, and this will just be an introductory video to the course, talking about a little bit of what to expect during this semester, going over a few course policies, and a navigation through the course Canvas page. So on the page now you'll see a list of what I'm going to go through. So I'll talk a little bit about the instructors, the resources for the course, some of the prerequisites and topics that we'll encounter in this course, and then we'll jump over to the Canvas page and talk about grading, assignments, and there are no quizzes this semester. There are just going to be assignments and examinations, so no weekly quizzes. Some of you may have had experience with weekly quizzes in our first and second year math classes already. This semester in Macm 201, we're going to go strictly with weekly assignments, and then we will have 3 midterms throughout the term. But I'll get into a little bit more about that in a moment. And while we're in the Canvas page, I'll talk about communication tools and a few other things. So let's get to the next slide. The instructors, as I said, my name is Dr. Jamie Mulholland. I'm the instructor for section D100. Dr. Amapreet Ratan is the instructor for section D200. The workshop coordinator for the algebra workshop is Justin Gray, and the resources you will be using for this course throughout the term are listed down below. So first and foremost is our Canvas page, canvas.sfu.ca. There's where you will find everything to do with Macm 201 this term. The textbook we will use for the course is Discrete and Combinatorial Mathematics by Grimaldi, and this is the 5th edition of the book. It is available in printed copy. It's actually an out-of-print book, but Pearson still publishes it under their classic series, so you can find copies pretty much everywhere. It's been around for a very long time. You can find used copies pretty much anywhere. A quick Google will find you a copy of the book, no problem whatsoever. Algebra Workshop, you will have access to that through a link on the Canvas page. You just have to look for the Algebra Workshop Fall 2021. And finally, the last resource for the course that you should be utilizing a lot is your own classmates. So it's highly encouraged for you to work with your classmates as you study the material throughout the weeks. There's just a caution. You can overuse your classmates in the sense that collaborating on homework assignments, working together on determining the solutions to these problems, that is perfectly fine. But when it comes to submitting your work, the write-up you do is your own understanding of the material and your own presentation of the material. So you can work together, brainstorm the thought process through solving the problem, and then write up the work on your own, and that will be your submission. And of course, for examinations, no collaboration with anyone. The examinations are purely an assessment of your own understanding of the material. The prerequisites and the topics we'll cover in the course. Prerequisites are just Macm 101 with a grade of C- or better. The topics that you should be familiar with from Macm 101 that we will use throughout this course are counting, and we'll do a little bit of a refresher of counting at the beginning of the term. There's some logical foundations in Macm 101 you should be familiar with. That's chapter 2 of the Grimaldi textbook. Set theory we will use quite a bit. I mean, the basic object in mathematics is a set and its elements, so it's not surprising that we will be using these over and over again throughout the course of this semester. So having a familiarity with set theory is essential. That's chapter 3 of Grimaldi, or the first part of chapter 3 of Grimaldi. Chapter 4 is on induction and number theory. The things that we're going to be using in this course are induction. Induction we'll be using as a proof technique quite a bit, actually. It appears every so often in this course, but we will do a refresher as we get to our first inductive proof. Relations and functions are also going to be essential background understanding for this course. The topics we will cover in Macm 201 are going to be under the context of counting. We will cover the principles of counting. That's sections 1.2 through 1.4. So you probably already encountered those in Macm 101. We'll do a refresher again because they are so vitally important for moving forward in Macm 201. And then we will cover some probability, the later chapters, or the later sections of Chapter 3 in Grimaldi. Then we'll get into some advanced counting, generating functions and recurrence relations, so that's Chapters 9 and 10 of Grimaldi. And then we'll move into graph theory. So general topics of graph theory are basically Chapter 11 of Grimaldi. We'll study some trees in Chapter 12, and then possibly some optimization in Chapter 13. So there's 3 midterms. The dates are listed there already, October 6th, 27th, and November 17th. There is a final exam. The date will be announced later in the term once SFU Schedules has scheduled all the exams for every course in the university. There will be 8 hand-in assignments, basically 2 prior to each midterm, and then 2 following midterm 3, which is prior to the final exam. So now let's skip over to the Canvas page and have a look at the information there. So the midterm dates are listed on the main page here. Just as a reminder, every time you log in, that's just a quick reminder of there they are. One of the things you might be wondering right off the bat is how are we going to be conducting lectures? Well, lectures are going to be offered via pre-recorded videos. So our regularly scheduled class time of Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12:30 to 1:20, I will not be using that for lectures. Lectures are going to be pre-recorded, and you can watch them on your own time, whatever is convenient for you. The regularly scheduled class time, I'm actually going to utilize 2 of those hours during the week, so the Monday and Wednesday, just for office hours. So no new material covered, just a drop-in office hour. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging out in the Zoom room then, and you can pop in and ask some questions. So the idea is we have gone asynchronous. Lecture content is delivered via video, and rather than just schedule office hours outside of class time, generally, we were all available during what would have been our class time, so that's why I've made those my office hours, because it's likely that most, if not everybody, is available at that time anyway. If you do have something else that's scheduled, you know, some other reason why you couldn't make those office hours, by all means, send me a message in Canvas using the inbox tool, and let me know that those office hours aren't convenient, and I'll try to arrange another office hour during the week which is outside of that time. All right, so let's actually, now that we're talking about lectures, let's actually click onto the Lecture Notes and Videos tab. I will come back to the course information in a second. So this is where you will find the templated lecture notes. The big blue button there, you click it, it will give you a copy of the templated lecture notes. And it's a full booklet. It's got all of the sections arranged with the text that I'm going to have on the overhead slides, but we will fill in by hand during the lectures. That's a booklet that you can then fill in by hand during the lecture as well. If you wanted it instead of one big booklet, if you preferred it to be split up by chapters, that's what the links are down below. Basically, it's the original file chopped up into smaller files, chapter by chapter. During the slides that I give in the video lectures, I use a dark theme mode, so dark background, lighter text. If you happen to prefer that as opposed to the white background booklet that I have, then I've also made available the dark theme slides there as a zip file which you can download. So basically, you have your choice. My own recommendation would be to get the entire booklet and fill it out as you go along. That's actually what I do when I'm creating the lectures for the course. I fill in by hand the lecture notes booklet of what I want to say in the lecture itself. And so I have my own copy of the booklet that I am keeping my notes in. And so I recommend you do the same. It's quite easy to pick up, flip through, and get to the lecture notes that you need as you are working on the weekly assignments. In the lecture notes table, or the lectures table I should say, you can see they're split up by weeks and by days. So September 8th, which is this Wednesday, there's warm-up counting exercises, and there's a video or television icon. That link will be activated. You can click on that, and that will take you to the video with the warm-up counting exercises. The welcome to the course is this video that I'm recording right now. That's going to appear on that first line of the table when you click that television icon. Next time you log into this page, you probably will not see all the television icons down here because actually none of these are active yet. I am making the content as we go along throughout the course. So I am going to remove all those icons so that whenever you do see an icon, you know the content is there and the video is available. This is a schedule that's designed to keep you on pace with the course. Now, as I said, these are video lectures, so because there's a warm-up counting exercises listed for September 8th, it means that the video is available. I recommend you watch it on the 8th or as near to the 8th as possible. Prior is perfectly fine. Later than the 8th, then you run into an issue of possibly falling behind in the course. So I've laid it out as a schedule like this, even though they are videos, but I've laid it out along this timeline so that it will give you the best pacing as you move throughout the term. You can see the midterms do appear in this list. Midterms are going to be done through Zoom. You will write them at home, or if you just happen to be on campus doing a live lecture at some point in your other classes and you are on campus during our midterm time as well, then you'll be writing your midterm wherever you have your internet connection available. Those will take place in our class time on these dates. So October 6th at 12:30 to 1:20, and then so on down the list. You can see the dates there. All right, so that's our lectures. I'll scroll down to the bottom, go back to the front page. Now I'll click on course information, the red button. There's some information here. It's all dropped down. So keys to success in Macm 201. Have a read through this. This is some just key pointers that will help you become successful in this course. There's the course instructor and contact information. I've already mentioned this, myself and my email address. However, I do put my email address there, but the best way to contact me is through this inbox tool through Canvas. So on the left-hand side, there's the inbox tool. That's what you want to click and get into contact me with. Course description and prerequisites. Well, you're familiar with this because it was on the calendar that you used to register in the course. Continuation of Macm 101, and I've already talked about what we're going to cover. Our course textbook, I mentioned this as well. It's Discrete and Combinatorial Mathematics, 5th edition by Grimaldi. This has been around for quite a while. You can pretty much find it anywhere. The Algebra Workshop, there's a bit of information there, but you click on the Algebra Workshop link and it'll give you even more information about the Algebra Workshop. The way it will run this semester is it's a virtual workshop. So you will click on a link to the active Canvas page for the workshop and you can self-register in that, and then the Zoom tab in the Algebra Workshop Canvas page will give you links to TAs as they're available during the week to go into their Zoom room and interact with them and ask them questions. There's a little bit of information about assignments. There'll be 8 weekly assignments, and you can read a little bit more about some details regarding the assignments. I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. Again, there's some information about midterms and finals that you can read through, sort of the policies and procedures around them. The grading scheme for the course, the assignments, there are the best 7 of 8, and that's worth 15%. So that means we will take your best 7 scores of the 8 assignments. Midterms 1, 2, and 3 are worth 15% apiece, and 40% for the final exam. Calculator policy is you can use a non-programmable scientific calculator during the assessments. That's fine. However, you are encouraged not to. The reason being is that we accept calculator-ready answers. So there's no reason to put a result into your calculator to get some sort of decimal approximation of the number when you can leave your answer in a calculator-ready form using binomial coefficients like the choice function, 7 choose 2. That's a much better answer than actually writing out what the integer is that 7 choose 2 evaluates to. So even though calculators are allowed, you are encouraged to leave your answers, highly, highly encouraged to leave your answers in calculator-ready form. That's the best way to leave an answer for us in this course. Communication with us, so with us meaning myself, workshop coordinator, etc. So How should you communicate? Well, and also for me communicating with you, I will primarily communicate with you through the announcements in our course Canvas page and through discussion. So if you post questions in the discussion board, I will respond in the discussion board. If you want to get a message directed to me, again, you can use the inbox tool here, which is on the left-hand toolbar. There's some information about religious accommodations, and lastly, academic integrity. I encourage you to be familiar with the policies that the university uses for governing academic integrity. So there's a link there to the SFU policies regarding academic integrity. So know what academic integrity is and what is considered a breach of it and what the penalties are there for it. Okay, we'll go back out to the main page. We've covered the first two links, then the last one in the first row is assignments and quizzes. So there are no quizzes, so next time you see this, you'll see an X across the quiz in the banner. I forgot to put it. I put an X across the quizzes there, but there are no quizzes this semester, just hand in homework assignments. The assignments will appear here in the table. As you can see, the spacing, 2 assignments prior to every assessment. The first assignment will appear as a PDF file, which you can download. Solutions do appear after the due date. And the due dates will be 11:59 p.m. on the Wednesday evenings. That first one there that says 9 p.m., that's actually a mistake. I need to correct that still. When you log into this page, you'll see that to be 11:59 p.m. That doesn't mean we want you working late into the evening on Wednesday. The idea is that the assignment is due on Wednesday and we give you to the end of the day to get your submission in. Submissions are going to be through CrowdMark. And so there are handwritten assignments which you will take pictures of or scan or digitize in some way and then submit to CrowdMark for the TAs to hand grade. There's some information about the algebra workshop in the first button in the second row, some exam resources, so as we near exams you can click on that and get practice questions for the various midterms as we go along, and then some information about CrowdMark. CrowdMark is the system we will use where you submit both your homework assignments each week and you will be submitting your midterms and final exam. So we'll finish off with just a few keys to success in Macm 201. So you should prepare for, attend, and review after each of the 3 weekly lectures. So these are video lectures. So to prepare for them means you can prepare for the lecture by having a quick glance in the textbook for that appropriate section. I do include the section that we were covering on the lectures themselves. You'll see that in the booklet. So you can have a quick glance through the material before it's covered. It also means getting ready in terms of having your lecture notes available and ready to be annotated on. The video lectures will be 50 minutes or less, and then afterwards you can review. And so the reviewing is, again, you can be reading the textbook material relevant to that lecture. You could also be reflecting on and reviewing the material as it was done in the lecture itself, practicing those examples that we've gone through, working through them on your own. So that's going to encompass, the keys to success in regards to the lectures. Doing the weekly homework assignment. Each homework assignment is probably going to take around 3 hours to do. And that could involve not only working on the problems themselves, but also referencing some background material as it comes up for those problems. You're going to study or work regularly, so that means not leaving things to every Wednesday. That's the assignment due date. It could be quite common for people to sort of leave the work until just about the due time of the assignment, but that's rather difficult in learning the material. What you would like to do instead is to spread out your studying over the week, so that each day you can be working a little bit at a time. So for example, I've got there work in blocks of 1 to 2 hours to maintain your concentration. So maybe 1 to 2 hours a day. Just focus on one particular section, a few questions, work on those, and then move on to another topic and task from maybe another course, and then come back to the Macm material, but frequently visiting throughout the course of the week. When you work, make sure you're in a distraction-free zone. So don't get distracted by TV, social media, messaging, any other things that could pose a distraction. Try to understand the mathematics we teach you, not to memorize it. If you find yourself memorizing results, and so here's a formula, I just need to memorize it, and I need to know this is how I'm going to apply it, that's not the learning outcome you want for this course. What you want to be able to do is understand all of the formulas. Where did they come from? Why do they work? What happens if the problem changes? How can I update the formula to reflect how to solve the new problem? So it's more about understanding where these ideas are coming from and how to build up these ideas, as opposed to just memorizing formulas. Memorizing won't get you very far, but understanding the material, that will get you through this course and beyond. Alright, so that's it for this introductory lecture to the course. This video will be followed up with a part 2, which is our warm-up counting exercise. And that's just a counting exercise meant to get sort of the brain working again in thinking about combinatorics, discrete mathematics, counting, how to use some of the things we've developed in Macm 101, what kind of counting problems will we encounter in Macm 201. So it's just meant to sort of get the brain juices flowing a little bit. So welcome to the class. I look forward to meeting you throughout the course of the term in office hours and otherwise. Good luck this term, and we'll see you in the next video.